Hey, Piotr. Hey, Piotr. Hope you're doing okay. Kira says hi. She's in Kiev right now, but every time we talk, she asks me how you're doing, and she wants to know how your golf is, and she always says, please say hi to Piotr for me. Okay. About the swing plane. Now, there's no such thing as a swing plane. There is a path, which your shoulders would turn. There's something called the hub path. The hub, basically the point between your left and your right hand. And that moves through space, and that affects the shaft. Now, there are some players that think about the swing plane in terms of a position here at the top. They want, ideally, in that reference frame, in that theory of how to swing the golf club, they want a straight line from the ball to go through their right shoulder, and then they want the club to be in the extension of this line, so that if you begin to rotate and your right shoulder would move towards the ball, or your left shoulder would move in the opposite direction, that your arm would more or less be pulled into the same direction. That is very much based on a position. So you have your setup here, and they want to reach a certain point here, and once they are here, they start the downswing. There are some players that don't swing to a position up here, but that move the stick to the right, and the top of the backswing is not a position where they finish, but it is the position where the body begins to rotate towards the target, and the club is being slowed down because the body is turning into the opposite direction. I am more of the second type. So basically, the club moves to the right, and as it moves to the right, my body begins to move to the left. Back in the 80s, we used to call this movement a reverse parallel momentum. So the body moved in this direction, and the club would move in the opposite direction, and the goal was to create maximum lag, to get the club as far behind your body as possible. So that is probably why it looks as though my swing is relatively short. If you look at it from face on, what looks like the top of my backswing, the club is about here, but that's not the furthest that the club actually travels. Once the club is here, I begin to move my body towards the left, and the club actually goes a little bit further, although my body is going in the opposite direction. So what looks like the top of my swing is not quite the top of my swing. Plus, I'm 50 years old. I'm 51. I'm not as flexible as I never was. I actually never was very flexible. Anyway.